if you look at the employment ages of young people, which would be under 34, I think it's like 60%, no? Young, something around these figures. I think people need to be more, especially younger ages, people need to be more aware that they will eventually change companies. In the reality of the past, for example, my mother still works for the same company, and she has done for 35 years. That has completely changed, and it has changed in the last 10 years, and it will continue to change for the next 10 years. I think business is becoming a little bit more dynamic, so sharing spaces, hot desks, a lot of things like that, working from home, will become much more prevalent than in the past, tying yourself to a desk. It's about objectives, and that's where my personal opinion is that people need to realise that objectives are the key, not how many hours you work in a particular day. For myself, in what I see in Spain especially, is that people work from 8 till 8, and that's crazy, in my opinion, purely because in 12 hours, what are you doing for 12 hours, and people say, well, I'm busy, but what are your objectives? Well, are you reaching your objectives? Can you do your objectives in 6 hours? And we have this mentality of staying on your seat, and people don't do it on purpose, that they may be afraid of the bosses saying, why is Lee leaving at this time? I think the next generation of bosses need to understand that objectives are the key to most things. It's not Zara, it's not where you have to be in the shop for 7, 8, 9 hours to service a customer. A lot of people work in offices that they just have objectives, and they need to reach the objective, and if they're done, they're done. If they're not, they're not. And then you have conversations around that. In my opinion, that's where business is changing. And I think the European Union, I think Germans are very much like that. And from my experiences with Germans, that they are very objective orientated, and they like to reach their objectives, and at 5 o'clock they put the pencil down, they leave, and that's their ideas. And I think Spain, in my opinion, needs to be a bit more in that way.